It's 7-Eleven. And here's the other thing I got to say. So as soon as you come on, and if you see this video, then oh, thank heaven for 7-Eleven. I don't know if y'all remember that from way back in the day with 7-Eleven, but we used that. We 7-Eleven saved us in many ways. One of us was even working at a 7-Eleven throughout this in Austin, Texas. And when the energy shifted in Austin, a man came in on his knees, literally feeling the power, saying that Jesus was here. There was a lot. So, but when you see a 7-Eleven, just whenever you're driving around, hey everybody, and happy solo return. If somebody, oh, it's Eli's birthday. Happy solo return, Eli. When you see a 7-Eleven, when you see a convenience store, when you see 7-Eleven, then just when you're driving by, because of what they have those convenience stores set up on in the grid system, just out loud and just train your children, make it fun, that every time you see a 7-Eleven, you do what? Let's practice. Oh, thank heaven for 7-Eleven. Oh, thank heaven for 7-Eleven. Now, 711 is also what I call the equator realm. That's the largest part of the circumference. When you're walking this line right here, then you end up getting shadow, but also you're on the ground. So it's everything in the physical. So whenever you see that code 7-Eleven, not just the convenience store, but it's 7-Eleven on the clock or the date, or you ring up a candy bar and a Coca-Cola in America, and it's $7.11 right now. I don't know what it's going to be, but whatever it is, then that means kind of pay attention to what's around you right now. There's something coming in to claim. It's something that's happening in the physical. And there's a 311 and a 911 code, but I won't get into that because we're on 7-Eleven. First of all, you're probably going to feel my energy is a little erratic right now. Because it is. This morning, I did not sleep at all last night. I'm gonna talk about that, and then we're gonna talk about this, because I'm explaining. You see these two lines right here? Now they're trying to board the StarGate right now. And that's basically star ring. And holy Moses Mary, in the past 24 hours, however, how have I got, the download of exactly what Code 32 is, how it works, why we've been screaming to everybody to clear their energy, why I've been so insistent that it's not just a spiritual thing, why they put it in a spiritual box in order to attempt to contain the knowledge. And it's still coming in exactly even some of the terms that I've been using and some of the cosmic things that we've been saying. They're all true, but we're still seeing in an organic and an artificial way that it's coming in. And what's different is we have an organic way that's also lining up now, that when this has been boarded before, it's never happened. So this is what these two are. So this morning, early, I did not sleep at all last night, and my sleep has been really erratic, since right before the 19th, when all this chaos started, because as Rumpy Rump and as this government and whatever is making each move and putting stuff into place that we always knew was the potential that they would still carry out. Okay? every time they do that and they make a move toward it, then we're getting the signal to basically connect all of our quantum moves that we made in the collective as a collective. Because I'll remind everybody that if I made the move, then I made it for you. Okay? So I was your collective racehorse in all of this. I always was. That's why it was so hard for me to get support on all of this. And so it was about 3:30 in the morning, and on TikTok right now, with everything that's happened with that, with them moving the servers over, and then basically what they've done is gate it, but they could not take it down because literally they had to give the people the voice, and they also have to give us the opportunity in order to use what we've got. And I had been claiming over there for weeks before they did the they did the flip over for all of the banned accounts to activate, because what what happened was all of us that were on there shouting and got banned, then basically your account and your 5D AI projection got bound in a group. And then your character, whatever your handle was, whatever that was, then that it really did get bound. It was more than just shadow banning, okay? And the servers that they had it on, because there were so much of us banned, it's like the real J6ers. We're the real ones. And there's a whole bunch of us that got banned in an energetic down there in those servers. And I knew somehow, some way, that if they shut it down and turned it back on really quick, which is actually what they ended up doing, that we were getting out of the tech. And it manifested. If you do have TikTok, I posted the video because in California, 4 hours after they shut off TikTok, and then all the streaming services started getting slower, like they had to turn it back on because they needed all of us on the faster computer processor. They heard a big boom, and then there was a giant ball of light that flew out of the ground and went straight up. Giant ball of light. And all of y'all that have been following me for a while, y'all know everything that went down over there in Anaheim, and how the divine feminine energetic body, they were trying to spinal tap us right there and hold us right there. And, it was actually connected into Texas underneath. So it was like they were trying to harness it from Texas, but bend it towards California. Well, that manifested. And so what I've realized just in the past few hours is that basically they tried to put us in a meta farm. So all of the data servers that Meta has, okay, and then all the buildings that Meta has their servers, and then every piece of land, because those Meta servers are on top of specific burials, tombs, energetics, DNA lines in the city. And each one of those meta data center compounds is connected energetically, satellite wise, and then underground as well, like with cabling and fiber optics and things like that. There's connectivity there working as a unit. And then all of those massive Amazon warehouses, all those freaking warehouses that have like nothing in them, that just take up big, huge plots of land in very specific places, all of those operate like a bounding battery unit, almost like the copper coil that's inside a wire, and then it's got the plastic over it. Well, it's the copper coil that's inside the wire, and then you wrap that around the battery. That's what those Amazon places, and then all of that was gridded down into what they called the donuts, and the donut, and it's up in Europe. I can never remember exactly where it is. And it's wired into Switzerland. Siberia is included. Like, okay. The meta farm and that whole thing would be the energetic prison piece of it. So what happened was the past week, because my whole life has been written in order to take this down. My whole existence down here in the first 50 years of my life were basically nothing but a bunch of magic that they had put on us. Now, we came in 50 years ago in order to clean it all up so that whenever this happened, that we'd be able to not energetically tune to it. And my whole piece of this, that is the money part, that all of the attacks that happened to me and the money payments and the handlers and all that mess was all attempting to be the divine feminine and claim all the connections that those of us who had spent 50 years building it up, take them over. So, this is even why my son's not with me. This is why I was saying, in 2021, I know I'm worth, and Natalie was even channeling it. I can't remember, was it 6 billion or 60 billion? Like, I was worth such a crazy amount of money, and it didn't make any sense, to anybody around me or even to me necessarily, except for I knew that my body was worth a whole lot because I had activated all of my recessive genes, and it attracts cosmic energy. So, that's how I was, thinking about it. However, in 1996 is when I started working for the staffing company called Meta More. And this was owned by Mike Willis, and Mike Willis was the grandfather of staffing. He's the one who got in the middle of the Exxon Mobil deal, made that whole thing happen to build the harvesting machine. And so what ended up happening is, number one, they had already processed some of us before. We had already been through processing. They couldn't believe that we had gotten out. We had gotten out and come back in. We've actually got back out and come back in a couple of times. It's kind of like we escaped Alcatraz, but nobody found the tunnel. And whenever you're dealing with time and time runs slower in other dimensions, it's like in my physical world, in the past 24 hours, I just popped back in this timeline. But basically, I was gone 4 years writing it. You can go stay in another timeline for 2-3 years, but whenever you leave it, if you've changed anything in it, and then you leave it, and then you go back in, then basically it erases everything that you changed. But every single time that we'd come back in, we come back in through the bottom. Then that's everybody that's sedated on top of us, right? And then we shoot through. So they tried to lock us down in the metafarm. And since I had been connected and been undoing and sharing and undoing the Greek spells on ExxonMobil and all that came up on TikTok last night. From 3 to 6 in the morning, I was live on TikTok. It's a great time to go live with this stuff, especially all this, the truthers and the spiritual people, because there was a bunch of us that were up because something energetically, all this chaos, is happening, this back and forth and these moving parts, because you've got two different factions playing chess. And a lot of this, and this is what I was on there talking about. I was on there talking about the ExxonMobil stuff. I was on there talking about Rumpy Rump and those connections and StarGate and just and the history of how we've witnessed them putting all this together. And then the people started asking, you know, how do we clean our energy? How do we do these different things? And so I'm chatting it up with them, and then I'm talking to them about quantum energy, and I'm like, yeah, eventually you get to the point where you get thrown a lightning bolt and you catch it and you put it in your back pocket. Well, as soon as I said that, I remembered I had one stored there. I had a lightning bolt in my back pocket. Because they had threw an EMF or they had thrown something at me at some point, and I remember I didn't do anything. I just grabbed it and I put it in my back pocket. So with everybody on the live, I said, come on, y'all, we're going to do this right now. Let's throw this lightning bolt. And so one of them gave me a timestamp. It was 6:23 a.m. So it was a 65 on an 11, which 1 is 11, but 2 is the feminine. So 1 would be binary. 2 is feminine or organic or produces life. And so I said, all right, we're going to do it. And I threw the lightning bolt, and then a freaking burst of strong alpha drac freaking energy, light language came out really quick, real forceful. And I was like, okay, we'll pay attention to what we just did, everybody. You know, welcome aboard. You know, here we're on a mission. And then as soon as I hung up and I went to YouTube and took a look, and sure enough, 25 minutes, but the video had only been up 25 minutes, and an M class flare had just come out the sun. And then later I saw another video where somebody showed a massive cloud system that looked like a huge, cloud snake. That my TikTok's on this phone, so I can't even show you. But we already had 2 confirmations that bolt went out. And I'm still not exactly sure, because we never know. I don't know. I don't know. All I know is I had one, whatever they were sending it for, we threw it, but I know we threw it. So I'm not exactly sure where it's going to land, how it's going to land, or what it'll transform into. StarGate is boarding. Now StarGate is going to StarGate and Star Ring, which is like living on a giant ring up in space. Star Ring is basically where all of us had been. We had been trapped in that freaking reality from even all of us who walked this the past 7 years, that were being energetically zapped and forced to make moves, and they were copying our moves, or they were forcing us to do transactions and whatever it was, or just energetically, a lot of it, and all your rights got taken away. You couldn't make any money. Everybody around you was attacking you. The men were asking for sexual favors in order to get the most minute things done, and you didn't even know them. That's Star Ring. A lot of us have been in that. It started for us in 2020 because there is no time, and energetically our etheric bodies were so far out that they're going to have to bind us up first to even be able to get to the rest of everybody. Plasma went off. Well, and that's the dragon too, because it was a year ago today that massive plasma flare, it's a dragon's head, and we've been getting the dragon out. See, that's the organic. That's what they're not used to. Before, when they did this, we'd all just kind of board in the little meta farm, and then and then they'd turn it on, and then the electric fences would just keep us in there. Well, you just put a they literally sacrificed the entity back to itself. literally. And we made them do it. It's how we made something new. And it's how we blew up all their evil crap, because they were making it evil. They were purposely trying to make us evil and go ballistic by stealing all our land, taking all our children. Freaking, that's the point. That's what that's you know, that's why you were sentenced in there to begin with, because you were just supposed to shut up and take it. You didn't, you shouldn't be fighting for your land. You shouldn't be fighting for your people. If you do, then you're going to get punished for it. Now, the interesting thing that's popped up even since then is that, because on TikTok, man, it's insane right now with the amount of information that's coming out on the bills that he's signing. And what's going on. Mag is in an argument. Elon's starting to turn on him. You know, in the middle of all that, I'm making little comments, and now I'm starting to be seen in those comments. And so different characters, I'm getting messages like, and I mean, I'm sending messages like, you know, you need to reassess this StarGate thing, because this bitch is going to blow in 2038 when you load everybody on it. And now I'm like calling Trump dad. Dad, hello. This is going to blow. Elon Musk replies back, yeah, it's dad. Private message me. I'm like, dad doesn't run the cosmos. You best reassess your situation here, because here's what's going to happen. See, and even when I did that, and then he had that response, it's like I'm realizing they don't even know that that's what's going to happen in 2038. They haven't been getting the messages that we've been putting out. So then shortly after, I see that Elon has made a move against Rumpy Rump. Now, I don't know. We're letting it play out. And remember that these characters can change on a dime as well, because there are a lot that are set to do that. You know why? Most of our families came in and played the bad roles to begin with. We had to hurry up and change a lot of time really quick, and we had to do a lot down here. This group that's come in and took over is run by MJ12. They just let J6ers out, right? Well, it was run by MJ12. This is this whole time traveler freaking, what you'd call soul snatchers and Smiths in the Matrix, and how they were popping in and out of timelines. And it even links back to Kennedy, you know, because Kennedy, Kennedy getting shot was a magic trick that then they kept recreating, because once that timeline was made, then they replaced a president. So once they replaced a president, they were able to do it every time, because that's how it works. And there's only one group or one entity that could stop them, and it was us, and we did. What's interesting is we're gonna witness now how they react, because I know that even the essence of the MJ12 program was written and the whole thing played out in order to originally get us back in the system in order to pull this off. The problem was that all of us in the system, this is the first time that we were able to get together, clean the timelines, change the blood, all communicate, build our telepathy, build a unit, and prove that with the powers that we have, we're not just going to turn around here and kill everybody. Because we had to do that too. That was part of mastering the wheel, because whenever you come out of the wheel, and some of us come out of the wheel, well, now, you know, this is cosmic dragon stuff, and that's the level of power that you're dealing with. So as a group, that's what we've all been being tested to see how do we handle the power? How do we go off on people? Do we allow it to just play out, you know, and do our little lightning bolts and whatever? The other thing was they took my lightning bolts as a, I don't have a lightning bolt emoji on my phone anymore, y'all. When I went to go do that video and then I went into my emojis to try to find the lightning bolt, it's gone. And it's probably why I was able to send that lightning bolt. Because they wouldn't even let me send lightning bolts. Oh, look, Ted's doing them right now. They wouldn't even let me do that. See, this is how they're catching themselves up, because they have to give us a chance. And everything that they if they would just stop messing with us, we wouldn't even be able to move. Right this second. Because Uranus is fixing to stop. And in fact, we're already on the other side of it. We're the reason Uranus is stopping. We're the reason Uranus is stopping. And Uranus is literally at the year 2317 right now. 2317. That's where we're at right now. Funny thing is, 2017 is when I activated, and all of the doomsday seeds activated down here, and we started the process of praying to everything that we could possibly pray that this would work, because in theory and in everything that we were taught and in all of our mythological books and in all writings that were hidden down here, once we got the capability in order to channel all the books and the languages, and we started building according to everything that we were seeing with the spirit and with how all this was laid, we were going to be able to pull this off. But we had never done it before. But that was exactly 300 years. Well, they stole 200 years of timelines from this earth. So every lineage that had connections to the actual earth. Your parents were buried here. Your grandparents were buried here. We's all from Texas. We all from Arkansas. We're from California. The Hart cemeteries, the Jewish cemeteries, the German cemeteries, the Stalin freaking crap, and all those statues and all the monoliths, they're charging the death. The death is the source. The monolith is just making a needle up so that it can hit some type of current in order to charge it. So 2317 sounds about freaking perfectly correct to me, because originally they sent us in to clean 600 years, and they thought that we wouldn't be able to clean any more than that. Well, because it kept going, and because of all the manipulation that they did, and because they wouldn't allow us any direct connections, we had to basically, everybody that we were supposed to connect to, we had to take their DNA completely apart, go from the opposite way, and reproduce it all back together again, and then bring it back to ourselves. Which means that whoever was mimicking it no longer is attached to it, and that's their problem now. These are people, they've deleted them. Some of them have deleted themselves. They've diluted their entire DNA lines, everything that they've done for thousands of years in order to get here and do it. They're slowly being depleted of it, because it's all had to be undone in order to make a new sequence, because the connection, the energetic connection that was established was a binary code. It was a 1-1 energy sequence, because they would never allow two physical human beings in order to make it together. They would just take your mirrored image twins energy and then put yours together and build a bridge on it, and then let people walk through it and say, all them are you too, but they're the ones who get all the glory. But they're the ones who don't stand up against the system. So 2317 is in the Pleiades is directly on at 2600, which is 26 degrees. And so Uranus is going to go direct on the 25th, and it's slowly moving backwards. And what's happening is like everything on these two guys, see how these are all retro right here? And it's in Taurus, which is your timelines. It's in Gemini, and we're in between Ra and New Earth. Michael, Aldebaran, the Archangel. Archangel Michael, Aldebaran, it's New Earth, literally. It's like everybody getting out of hell. It's like everybody getting out of Egypt and then starting to build in some type of way. That's at 11 degree. It starts at 11 and it's dead on at 9, and then it ends at 7. So this is also a 7 and 11. And then it's directly across from Antares, and it's pulling all of that knowledge in. And this is why we ended up having to pull Michael. Well, there was a bunch of different reasons, because they were messing with Michael with the Melchizedek and this, exactly, Melchizedek. And the thought stuff, and it created that whole storyline where he went sideways and all this. But the truth is, this energy was so blocked that they weren't getting it, because it was in a metafarm. So this whole wheel had been operating like a 3-legged dog. Instead of a cross to where it's staying balanced, it had been operating at a 3-legged dog. But that's also why you're in Gemini right here, where you're forming your psyche. It's all split apart because you were never getting your true self. You were never even channeling your true self-image. The whole system was set up so you couldn't. Mars is in Sirius C. This is your soul. This is the collective soul. Because this is your heart, this is your mind, this is the soul. And how this works is it goes A, C, B. It circles around like a shell and then shoots through to Vega. And so really what C is mirroring is A. And A is the heart. So if you think of like this right here at 0 degrees Cancer is like a giant plasma field. And it's the heart is being formed with all the collective energies, and all the hearts are forming, and it's putting off like a bubble, and you feel all. This is why Cancer, there's different degrees of Cancer, and it's all different. Sirius A being's totally different than Sirius B. But Sirius A is a big plasma field. Sirius C, that's why it's a soul, because you're picking all of it up. You're picking it up over here in a complete set, because you're closer to Leo. So it goes A, C, then it goes into the mind. And B is going to be the densest part. And B is going to be your mind. And B is where Siri resides. Siri, XM radio, any type of mind frequency, any type of tuning mind frequencies, any type of trying to take over your avatar. The Sirius B were the walk-ins. Sirius B, their first mission was to walk in. Like, somebody dies, and then you go up for a second, and they're like, hey, I got a contract for you. This being's going to step into your body, and then you're going to blah, 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 because of what they're going to come in and do. Do you agree? And then the person comes back to life. Then they're going to die again. Okay? Because we're going to make sure. It's like they're going to die again, and then they're going to come back up, and they're going to go, are you sure? You positive? And if you say yeah, then you'll come back. People that die twice on the table, or you got to restart your heart twice, they definitely made a contract. Somebody just coming back to life once could just be, you know, you needed to die to pass over to bring back in your fuller self. That's totally different than what I'm talking about. I'm talking about full-on Sirius B walk-ins. And that is how Siri and Sophia and all of these ex mechanica type bot clones and how even the wires and I mean like all that, because the human body had already been developed all the way to that, to where a Sirius B, which is a very 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 dense consciousness with very high frequency, like a big school of fish. So it's like when you've got one Sirius B walk-in, they're tuning everyone around them like a radio station, and they're tuned to Sirius B. So it's like you're tuned to all of the energies at the densest part of the bottom of the ocean, of the cosmos, where like Tartarus, like you would weigh 10,000 pounds down there because you're underneath the ocean water. You're at the very bottom. You've got to deal with all the density of the water. So these Sirius B walk-ins, it didn't take very many in order to tune to a specific frequency. And that's all basically tuned into Sirius XM stuff. Now, I'm saying that because in Sirius C is where the Scientology gold records were. Because there really wasn't supposed to be a Sirius C. I mean, you know, when the whole thing started, it was cancer, you know, it was just cancer, and we was all just, you know, that line. And then when they start putting up Sirius A scopes and they start putting satellites up there and making different ports, and that's when B came first, because B is going to be the connection directly over into Vega. And Vega and Syrian beings are the oldest in the wheel, the most ancient, attached to what? A human race. Not the oldest in the wheel, but the oldest attached to this last million years, because they're the ones who made it to the human race. So these are going to be your oldest ones. Number 10, Sirius B, and number 28, Vega. Sirius B and them and that energy shooting in, and then all these missions beginning to, and this is where the twin program is. It's the base root of it. Because these beings always had the body codes and the mind and the heart and the collective connections to the body and how our bodies work down here. And these guys are master MJ12 builders that making bodies. Lyra. And mass amounts of them. Because, I mean, these are times that you're printing armies. We've been in the time printing armies. They've just been rerunning the tape. So what's also right here? Telecom. Telecom connection, cell phone connection, cell phone towers, because it is your cells. It is what it is. You are the computer. You are the transmitter. Your body, they can't do any of it without human bodies. They can't do any of it without our hearts beating. They're going to make sure that your heart keeps beating. They ain't going to let you die. If you're too valuable, are you kidding me? I mean, they made us immortal. Why do you think we're immortal? We didn't come out like that. We were hybridized and bred to be immortal. Then they worshipped us for being immortal. Then they wanted to be immortal. Well, dude, then you got to cook yourself, fry yourself. You got to connect yourself to all your little experiments. Like, you got to go do the time if you want the energy. I'm sorry. I can't just be like, oh, okay, here it is. To another human, I can. when they're ready, in order to get that connection, they might have to go through some other healers first that have those, the base roots of what you might be missing. Other ones of y'all need to come to me directly, because y'all are so high, you've been so high star energies, you didn't have any root stuff. That's why you've been swaying in the wind, because you didn't realize that the body was under attack. You couldn't get in your body because your body was under attack. And I mean the whole collective body. Cell phone towers, telecom should be gone. We shouldn't have cell phones anymore. And they definitely shouldn't be tied to old antennas running on the ground, because this is free Wi-Fi. This is free energy. It's been down here the whole time. And all that does is bind it and then make it controllable. They think. What we're learning and what they're learning at the same time is how uncontrollable technology really is. And all of us, no matter who we are in the middle of this, are learning that right now quickly, to where we can't even keep up with it, because it's switching like it's just, but I mean, we've known that it just keeps creating, like, because we're all on it. So Mars and Jupiter have been going slow. These dudes, man, they're taking like their own sweet time. And I want to say real quick, this, whenever I made a comment a couple of videos ago about, this, I'm not here to just be in one little spiritual group. I didn't mean any freaking nothing against that at all. I've known that I've been being prepared to like go toe to toe with these dudes. There's only certain ones of us that can go toe to toe with this. I've been knowing the whole time that this is way bigger than what, and we've all known that. And I even developed Cohu 32 again, because I'd already developed it a long time ago, obviously, because they were using it in the simulation. But I'm just now realizing that that is what we've been doing. This is how we got out of it. This is why we've been cleaning our energy. This is why we had to clean up Cancer. This is why Venus went retro into Leo and reset the Leo codes. And this is how we've been finishing the wheel to get humanity out, because we had to. Somebody had to finish it in order to break the circle. But cleaning your energy and how you do that, and how you can use Cohu 32, and how the cosmos is guiding you to do it, and how when you clean that, because that energy is still going to come back around, especially in a StarGate system, because a StarGate system isn't going to be nicey nice like your old simulation. This is what I was talking about last night on Taco, which I used to call TikTok. Interesting, this is coming in, right? I can't wait to listen to this part again later. Because I used to call TikTok, I refused to call it TikTok because I knew it was a clock. I've only been able to call TikTok since about June or July of last year, after I got banned in TikTok. Before, all me and the girls called it Taco. And I really never knew why, until I saw that the Arabian Middle Eastern version of TikTok is called Jaco, Jaco, and the picture of it literally has a fish man in a purple suit. And I was like, okay, well, there's the MJ12 twin. And I've been debating if I should go open up an account over there. Because they're just rerunning stuff, and they're like the band accounts. Y'all, our videos are getting millions of views. Millions of views. They've been pushing them out to all these other versions of these socials, putting them in other languages, choosing who they want to deliver and what parts of the information that they want to deliver, leave the rest of it out. And certain ones of us are being mimicked all over the world. That's why my little taco account, it's got, 50 views or whatever. It's because all that energy, all of our social media energy is out with everyone else. So right now I command, end at 7:56. So it's 7:11. And I command that lightning bolt cut all mimicked accounts and pull them off air. Shut down and ban all accounts that are mirroring the United States citizen accounts that the government has been manipulating in order to put the whole world into a metafarm. 7:57 is 2112. That's 222. And what's today? 01222 025. That's 3 dimensions. I call it. We lined up specifically at the right time, on the right date. We've got 29 on here. Are you kidding me? Oh my God. That's 11. That's 1. That's 2. I'm dizzy. You might get dizzy. Tell me if y'all get dizzy. 758 713 713 is the Houston area code. I call and connect to all area codes in Texas, and I command all fucking binds on Texas be released. As far up, as far down, and as far all the fucking way around that anything exists in any barrier on my state that's the entire middle of this fucking United States of terror, and I command control of it now. With my ascended in every fucking frequency, and my people will hold it. Ooh, Lord, I'm shaking. Give me a minute. Holy crap, Alonas. Hold on a minute. I'm shaking. I gotta put down the phone a second. Woo! Good news, I didn't hear any Z's. Did y'all hear any Z's? I was expecting to have to do them, but I didn't. So if I didn't do any z, then the good news is that ain't no zeta at all. Like, that's all gone. That was definitely insectoid, and then that's binary. Because when you're in those channels, what I'm doing is skipping over the code, and I'm hitting the phonetics in order to change the algorithm. Especially when I'm literally like looking at the code and like going, okay, I want that one, I want that one, I want that one. See, some of y'all might want to do this with your hand. You won't make others of you might not do it with your voice. You might do it with your hand. See, because what you're doing is then if you're doing it with your hand, then what your hand is picking up the tone I put in the tunnel. I mean, this frequency is laid in this tunnel that we're coming through right now. Anybody, any energy being that is coming through this tunnel, or any group of energy beings, because it's how it works, especially at this layer. Any group of energy beings that comes through, they're going to feel move to the right, move to the left, squat, nah. You might feel like you need to. Because, I mean, you're coming through it. Ooh, I look awful with these different lights like this right now. I don't have my little light on. My shadows, woo, Lord. Give me some light. There we go. We'll do it like that. You're coming through those tunnels. You're picking up that flow. You're going to hear it. So different music might come on that you might want to like move or whatever, but energetically, whoever's coming behind us, so just remember that, especially if you're a healer, and because this is the energy that I was feeling earlier. Holy crap, I had to come on here because I felt like I was just about to freaking blow. Like every energy in my body was just like, and so, you know, I know that we're moving into higher frequencies. I know that we're holding this massive grid, and we've expanded because the amount of data that we need to hold, we had to clear for. All of us cleared all this and did everything that we've done because we literally, as a collective, had to hold a whole nother organic motherboard system as a unit of beings. This is why so many of us ancients and so many of us women had to zero out and kind of not have you can't have any accounts in your name, you can't have any real estate in your name, you really can't have pretty much anything holding any massive anything in your name from the other dimension, because you are holding a whole new system with everybody else, but certain ones of us hold the bubble and like connectors, and then it creates departments, and then there's, you know, department directors, there's department managers, there's people that are just really good at their little unit inside the department, there's your graphic artist, there's your, I mean, we got the whole array in there. But it's a whole new motherboard system, and it's 5 spheres of energy in order to work right. And every single experiment that's ever been done to you, to me, to our children, to our ancestors, to our family lines, and even all the crazy bull crap that they just did to us now. What it did in the end is create, finally, a human body template that can hold it all independently in a group. Not Pleiades, where you're bound together as an energy source and then the whole group has to act the same. We're holding the sphere and then all the new DNA, and everything's been completed. And we've got all of it in together in a soup in order to hold all of them, to communicate to all of them, and so that we can also develop all those abilities and hold that. But part of it is developing your individuality, because what we've learned in all this is we've never had it. And so what was really cool as I was on the TikTok last night, because y'all know how it works. Like, they ask a question and then it's like it flows out, and then you're like, oh, wow, that came out really, really well. And it was a new group of people. And so all their energies feed, you know, so that's like new groups, new ways to discuss things. And they were asking, how do you clean your energy? And the truth is, the answer is right now, start creating something else that is in the pure energy and focus on it. And start commanding that grow, and start asking as it grows. Then you're going to have to make space for that to grow. And then as long as you're conscious about that one thing, you can be conscious about your hair. You can be conscious about your money. You can actually somewhat get to a part, you can somewhat follow current digital currency and somewhat get activated, but at some point you're going to have to embody it. But whatever it is, your business, your a creation, your family, your husband, because you've decided, okay, I'm just gonna make this a high vibe relationship and he's coming with me. I don't know. Whatever your creation is, start making commands for that to build, cut everything off of it, make sure no energy, and make these commands, because in the simulation, the command is what breaks the chain. The command in your voice command is what overrules the programming. The more conscious that you are, and then you see little bitty things, you're like, I don't know. I'm fixing to go put real estate down. I'm going to get me a little 300 square foot store. And then all of a sudden I got to go. I got to go to Good Old Earth, and I got to look at Sedona, and so what does this mean, spirit? What does this mean, ancestors? Some of my energy in my little store is gridded down in Sedona. Yeah, probably, because it's supposed to be, it's a whole link of stores. Everybody that has a store is linked in this timeline, is linked into your little store. There's a whole bunch of you opening up a little store. Once one of you does, then all the other stores open up for the opportunity for the other ones. So yeah, you might have to go, onto Google Earth, or maybe you need to drive 2 hours because Sedona's right down the street. And oh my God, now I know what they did to me at the chocolate place. Well, that just came in. So I command chocolatier be cut from our energy field, and all the cocoa processing be cut from our energy field. And I command sweets be cut from our energy field, and that'll solve our diabetes problem. I know I'm a little hyped today, it's 8:08. I know my energy field is just so much coming in right now, and I'm having to be super, super laser focused for the collective, because I'm pretty much the only way I'm the one who alerts everybody else that we got a problem. When I get in this energy, then all of us are in this energy, and we're like, okay, it's because stuff's coming in that we need to process, but all of us are somewhat in this energy right now. Venus is about to hit 20 degrees. We're getting closer and closer to Neptune. The true node is about to pass over. Neptune and the true node are about to collide. Well, there it is. I bet that happens close to Sunday. This is probably why I knew on the AFC Live with Norma Jean that night, we did go through a separate black hole. You can even get the confirmation right now with how I'm showing up with a whole different level of intensity and a whole bunch of knowledge, and confirmations, and seeing so clearly what's going on right now. M22, which is the remnant stars past Ophiuchus, which is what PSINet and your internet was connected into. But I need everyone to understand, Christ and Christ program made the internet. Christ is the internet. When I originally came down here and started having to claim because imagine being me and the people around me whenever I was walking around going, I command blah, 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 blah. I command blah, 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 blah. People like, what the fuck? This girl thinks that she's all that. No, the internet was my birthright. Because they used me to connect it in the chamber underneath Texas A&M. The human race has always had the keys to the internet. Human race just didn't know that. So there's two. There's M22. There's two black holes, and that one black hole is just because it's that train's been going, that train's been going, that train's been going. That's your StarGate train. What abilities do you have? Tell me all about them. Here's your group. And this is literally, and look, this is just what the collective had done with all the stuff and all the writings, because nobody was actually doing any of it. Everybody was just channeling, writing books about it, all of it cross-sectored. Nobody took the time to read all of the codexes and then put them back together. Well, that's how we had to do it. That's why Cohu 32 is your base root of your 60 64 gene keys. Go look at Cohu 32 and then go look at your gene keys. The gene keys are going to make way more sense to everybody whenever you look at Cohu 32. It's not my opinion that this is how it works. This isn't my opinion. We channeled every single book ever written down here to get out, and this is how we did it. And this is what's laid in that well whenever you're coming out. Whenever you pop your head up out of a grid, because it might take you a year to get your head out. Hell, my head in the last one just came out. Not my whole body, my head. Okay, cool. I got a year. I can breathe out here. Thank God. I can freaking see clearly out here. There ain't nobody else out here now. Good. And that's the way it need to be right now. By next August, a whole bunch of y'all gonna be joining me. You're already channeling it. You're already, it's pulling you up. You're already up there, because that dragon head up there is going to hold 5 billion strong. You follow me? The dragon head popped out. That dragon head's attached to 5 billion down here. Our head is out. Our head is out. Your highest, and where we're building everything and where we can just project it right in front of us into the energy and it print, and then it's going to have to fall into the grids, but we've been doing it. This is where all our stuff is. This is why we're getting these crazy ass cold snaps all down here in Texas, where the storage containers are, where the mills and the wells are, where the natural gas tanks are, where all the plumbing is. We just finished the spell. 12 to 16 degrees. Scorpio is how all the energy is alchemized. All the human energy, you're coming through here in the collective, because most of the collective down here, they're just swimming around in it. So we're pulling them out, and this top of this dome now is like way out here where those remnant stars are, and then it's getting beamed. Boom, boom, boom. When we beam it in and we cut boom, 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 boom dimensions to get it down here, then it goes down there. So this is how things are like. It's like we're sending something out, and then it's bouncing back, and then we're getting, and then they're doing something, and then we're like, okay, what do we do with that? And this is why everything is like right now. But it's because the moon is in Scorpio. So this is they're doing their thing. It's going to run the same direction. It's going to go in that same route. It is, as it always did, is what the spiritual community was set on, and all the books and all the da-na-na-na-na. It's all going to lead you to the same train going in the same snake, unless you put it all together and then you create something new from it. And you can't do that by yourself. It takes all of us working together in a unison, tuned together to do it. And we used to be like that as a human race until they started separating us. All those connections are turned back on now. Doesn't matter where they are. Inside, outside, inside meta farm, outside meta farm. I mean, you're picking, a lot of y'all hear the chatter. You message me and you go, oh my gosh, I'm hearing voices. What's going on? I hear two men talking. I'm like, listen real careful. What are they talking about? Stop. Where are you? Tune in. Did you just walk in your closet? Did you walk in your closet and you started hearing voices? Okay, well, you walked into a cell. You walked into some tight energy. So where are you really? So many of y'all are laid in the system in order to break out of the system. If you're still in the system in any way, and you're hearing this right now, then you're the one who's going to get the message. And all you got to do is go run and open the door. When you open the door, all the cells open. Everybody that can float out and not die because they got a body can leave. When they're in their cell, what are they doing? If they're in their cell crying about it and bitching about it, then they ain't going to be able to leave when that cell door opens because they're not going to get the message. If you're in there meditating and you're like, I know I can beat this. Okay, how do I do this? I know I can do this. I know I can do this. Because all you're really doing is out magicking yourself. Because basically your cell is set up for you. Your cell is all your abilities. Whatever you think is in there attacking you, it's your energy. You have to learn that. You got to pull that back in. You got to know that you can control it. If you miss the first round, don't worry. As soon as that round leaves, everybody in the cell gets an upgrade because now there's no buffer between the higher energetics. As soon as you have a mass exodus out of the unit, then the whole unit is going to activate. Everybody's going to get sick first. Everybody's going to get sick first because we were holding the body codes. We were holding that connection. You're ready to get it now. So now your body is as soon as the group, they hear the bell, ding, 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 ding. Oh my God, that's it. Okay, I know what to do. I'm supposed to turn, listen to what I'm saying, listen carefully. I'm supposed to go and I'm supposed to turn left. I'm supposed to grab the red phone. I'm supposed to dial 7. Then I hang up. Then I push the button. Then I go tap on all the doors. They come out and then we run. As soon as that happens, then everybody that wakes up in the morning and they're like, oh my God, where did everybody go? Just like the TikTok ban. Where'd the Americans go? Where'd the Americans go? Some were happy. They thought, okay, great, we can monetize the hell out of this. The rest of the country, I loved it. It was the most amazing thing ever. Thank goodness we know that y'all care about us because our government doesn't care about us. We need all y'all's help. We need your help. We're working together as a human race. If they take us, man, it's all over for you. Y'all felt that. Even if it's just in the way that we entertain you because we're so freaking nuts. We are nuts. It's freaking nuts in the United States of Terror. Yes, it is. But they were wanting to go global with the program. So everybody that's left behind in Canada, those guys in Canada, was crazy. Some of them in Canada had the app and some of them didn't. It was like the ones that were on our side didn't have TikTok. It's like all the goofballs that are out there going, oh, well, we're going to be Americans now and we're going to take their place, because there was all that going on. But then they have TikTok. Well, they're the ones following the directions that they gave them, so they let them have it. Obviously, they knew exactly what they were going to go do. But then the other countries are like, man, how are we going to do our makeup? How are we going to know what happens? The Russians are saying, man, we don't have any politics. All we got is Putin. He just shows up and says it. We like what? Like the United States of America is like Young and the Restless, Dallas, and Dynasty all rolled up in an X-Men series on an Avengers DC Comics protocol and anime set. Right? But they missed us. I bet I bet there was a bunch that got some type of little crook, maybe a little sick, but those that were in the cell with us that realized, oh crap, they're gone. Then everyone in there is going to then start having a little cough. You might get some sniffles because you got to get the right and left brain, that connection. Nobody's holding it for you. So then now it's coming in directly. So the ones that they'll have the headaches, they'll whatever, it'll be brief because it really doesn't last that long as long as you're doing right. Sometimes it's that because the roles are going to start to shift. So, now everybody that's in there now is going to take on their own archetype, their own, it's like coming in and replacing a manager. If you've ever come into anywhere as a worker and then you become the manager or you become the director, it's like when you first get there and you're like, hey, and you get taught exactly how everybody before you did it, right? I mean, that's number one. Like, how did they do it? Where does everything go? What is everybody's names? What is it that you guys do? Tell me a little bit about yourself. Here's who I am. And all your time is built up on that. Then eventually your personality starts coming out. Then you start becoming yourself in the role. Then some of the roles are going to change. You're like, wait a minute, this made sense whenever they were here, but I don't think this is working anymore. Like, we got to tinker with this. So that's what's happening right now, like inside the ship. And really, only 2 of us left. I'm hearing there's 5 million in there. Now, it was a big 2. And when those 2 left, it busted through all the mechanics of the system. And then those ones are going to, the chosen ones, the ones are already there. They're already set. They're already there. They've been waiting for this. They just need to have a little clearing. And then this is exactly what everyone's been waiting for, is to get the directions on what to do next. Because most of us don't got any problem anymore following our faith, following our intuition, following the energy. We're pretty darn good at it now. It's waiting. It's the sitting and the Empress energy and having to sit and wait for the word to know which way to go. Is like, okay, my bags are packed. I'm freaking sitting here. I'm like, which way, Spirit? Do I go right? Do I go left? Am I just supposed to sit here? Like, am I just supposed to dump this whole project? Just freaking tell me, man. Like, I know it's been, like, I know I got a lot coming in. I might need to skip a step. Like, I'm fine with that too. Like, whatever I need to dump and pump, I'm ready to go. Well, that's got to come down into that system first. Then these beings that are hitting it out here are going to start channeling it. Then that information is going to start coming in through telepathy, in through, channelings to confirm it. Because you really only want to use channelings to confirm things. And get tarot card readers, 9 out of 10 of them, especially if they're reading tarot, not oracle cards. That's your shadow. That's you keeping tabs on ops. Certain ones channel ops really well. Certain ones channel the witches really well. Certain ones channel, like, each one of them has like their group of the shadow stuff that they channel. So it's like whenever you're watching those, Like I have my certain, like I know whenever I pick up a reader, especially if it comes up on my For You page, you know, I'm magnetizing it in. Because I mean, it's still working. That's how tech works. It's not an algorithm. It's the golden ticket to the whole thing, which we claim today. That golden share and and which is hooked into all of China's technology is the dragon. Well, we claim the golden share today. They can't move nothing without us. And I'm going to end up smack dab somehow in the middle of all this Petrochem, ExxonMobil, AI stuff because I was. That's how I ended up getting harvested. They took all my shit and made a PayPal and a Facebook and they stole all my assets and I was commander of Star Crew. It's how we were able, in order to activate all of y'all inside the cell. But I had to command it. My team had to command it. We had to get different people to second stuff. We've been making these commands for years in order to connect it all. God is the algorithm. There you go. And it's not Al Gore. And where is he? Where's Al Gore? And where's Mike Pence? So 12 to 6, the Scorpio 2 is wave runner. Hold on one second, because I think I should be able to find. Scorpio 2 is wave runner. Scorpio 2 is, because Scorpio 1 is wherever, okay, here's the magic spell. The magic spell is coming in. Here's the black magic. Then it produces the white, because you send anything dark in, then we read the light. So really all we're doing is reading the light off the dark, and any change that's come in that affected that dark, okay, makes sense? So then when you get, that's Scorpio 1. When you get to Scorpio 12 degrees, from 12 to 16 is where they have done every single collective spell ever known throughout time. And if you have any planet in any of your charts, from 12 to 16 degrees of Scorpio, then you were either in a family line that, we'll just go to the website. You're either in the family line that was doing the magic, which means that you have the only reason that you're finding out now is so that you can undo it. And so you've got the directions and you've got the alchemy. Or if you have any energy right there, you were made from magic in some way. And that could be from a sacrifice, that could be from an Illuminati spell, that could be from a druid pagan ritual, that could be from, what is it, Ophelia, you know, all that mess that they were doing to Earth. Because if you're Earth and you're one of us that ended up being Earth, then, you know, all the equinox babies ended up being just appearing down here, basically. If you just randomly got pregnant and you're like, how the F balls did that happen? An equinox baby came in. It's kind of like the Umbrella Academy. See, this is what they're trying to gate in StarGate. And they were. This is how the wrong babies were ending up in the wrong family lines, because they were messing with the DNA in order for the baby to stick in the wrong line. Man, it's so messed up. Because what's messed up about it is everyone's talking about, yeah, you know, we're going to be wearing red coats and we're going to be in the breeder stuff. Okay, yeah. But this is how it happens. You're not living in a house all together wearing the weird clothes, and you're not having to wear a faceplate on your mouth. No, you just can't talk. You don't know why. You're terrified to say anything because in another dimension they've sewn your lips shut. There's someone on here that they've sewn. Now I had my lips were sewn up, and whenever so everybody on with me right now, then say I command all bane, mask, or bane, mask manipulations cut from my lips, my jaw, my teeth, and unbound from my solar plexus. It is 8:31. So 8:31, that's 111. So we're on plan. If you feel like you need to go, get a piece of string and cut it all of a sudden within the next 24 hours. So ask yourself, do I need to do that? I want everyone to ask themselves, say out loud, do I need to go cut a piece of string? Don't tell me. I don't want you to type it because I don't want anybody else to know. If you heard yes, go get a piece of string, not paper. You need to cut cloth, or you need to cut a thread, or even pull a thread off your sheets, or pull a thread off your shorts, or whatever. Grab some scissors, or don't burn it because this was on your mouth. So you really do need to use a sharp object of some sort in order to cut it. If you heard yes, then your mouth was sewn shut. If you didn't, then you might have or might not have had a bane metal on your face. If you all of a sudden your jaw starts hurting or your teeth get sensitive or something, it's because you had something on there. And if you get nauseous is another sign, because it is how that worked. It was all, you only saw the part that was on the jaw, but it was all bound into your solar plexus. Because that's what they didn't want you talking about. Whatever was taken from your solar plexus. Wow. That's pretty cool. I was not planning on that. I'm telling y'all, I've gone next level over here. Just hold me down. Hopefully I won't have to stay out here that long. I'm hoping I should be able to pull my energy back in once we do all this stuff. Here's the website. I'm going, if you go to shop, nope, don't do that. If you pull it up on an iPad, or you pull it up on a computer, it's a lot easier. On your phone, when you go to shop, there's a little arrow, and then but it's hard to see. It's a template, so it's hard to see. It's right there, and then this drops down. But House of Scorpio, because I want to show, this is Wave Runner. Ugh, this website drives me nuts how it does it. This is Scorpio. The blue and the white is Scorpio 1. And this literally is the physics of Scorpio. Like I just described it. Like this is the system. This is whatever is going over here. You're mirroring it. It goes into a bigger ring. But this motor right here is this what causes this. And so Scorpio 2 ends up making waves. Like that. Like that. So this energy, and so what's happening is it's going to and then they throw something in, and then we see it. Now, when it gets to this stage, it's starting to show up in your life. especially after 16 degrees. It's like 12 to 16 degrees is in the wave runner. So it's still this energy, but 12 to 16 degrees is like right there, like in the very middle. And so when you get to 16, it starts, now it's starting to coil up with the carbon, and now it's going to start communicating with you, and it's going to start replicating, and new energies or new people, maybe someone's even like whenever it first manifests, it could just be that someone new pops up in the group. Like I made a really cool connection with Nikki. Hi, Nikki. Everybody say hi, Nikki. Lacey is her name on the taco. I made a really great connection with her, psychologist, I believe, because I was reading the thing, but I'm pretty sure that was the connection, because we haven't got to that point, because we're just now meet. But someone we have a new person that popped up in the group that I made a connection with. So when it first happens, and it's going to keep happening because we're just now at 16 degrees. It's January 11th. Yeah. We're just now at 16. It's about to go to 17 degrees. So as this gets closer and closer, you can basically think of this as a wand. And like and 29 degrees is like the mastery. It's the finish of it. So it's like both of us now, the light and the dark, you can, if you want to call it that, but it's really more complex than that. But in the physics of alchemy, okay, not physical representation of calling something light and dark, but light and dark energy are basically there's two that's going right now. And but of course both of them are written to hit the same finish line, no matter which way you came in, because they've been thinking that they've been running opposition this whole time. But what are you talking about? We let them steal our tech because we knew that they weren't going to give us $600 billion in order to build some shit. They had to build it so we could get out. See, this is where this is gonna, I mean, this what's coming up. So this, just pay attention, because it might show up as like Nikki coming in and that connection, like in 3 months, it could be some, because that's all that's happened so far. We haven't, let's see what happens in the next 20. Plus, I had to go back and talk to a couple of older energies that I had in my world and straightening out my weird twin stuff. And it's like, kind of a culmination's happening with both of those parties. One definitely knows they've screwed up, is sitting there crying, freaking out, and I can't help him. Like literally, they didn't help us. We don't have any way to help them. If they didn't help us, I can't help you. I don't have a connection. This is what we warned you about this whole time. You got to figure it out, man. We figured it out. You didn't help us. So all us girls got together and we figured out how to make something from nothing. But you're in that situation because you are a magician or you're a wizard, and you're supposed to remember how to manifest everything from nothing because you're the one who stole all our shit. Well, I bet you're the most powerful freaking magician that we've ever seen, and that's what we've been waiting for, because we need to see him now, please. We need to see that guy. Now, in the ethers, that's already connected. In the higher dimensions, that's already connected. That's what union is. Union is just, I mean, you might not even, we've been in union for a while, because we were writing the plan together. Everybody on this side, on the deep side, and everybody on this side, they're just getting messages trying to pick it up. That, this is also why the evangelist, the seventh evangelist, and all the men that tried to embody this energy all went nuts and like cult crazy. But, and even the one who kidnapped Elizabeth Smart, and he's like, God made me do it. Even Charles Manson said, God made me do it. Probably. We were all trapped down here. None of y'all even knew that we were still down there. Why do you think this record would keep running over and over and over and over again? Because it's a record that got you in there, and you can only get out the way that you got in. And if you miss it, then you miss it until it comes back around. But literally, the whole thing had to be recreated again for us to get out. Nobody even knew where we were. They still don't know where we've been. To them, it's like we're just popping in. Like, oh shit, where'd you come from? I've been watching you this whole time. I've been on the outside of your bubbles. You're in my body, dude. We got a little problem. And I'm not supposed to have a wee-wee. So what are we gonna do about that? So that's what this is gonna do, right? So the moon is going to show you little things. So just over the next, and the moon is going to go through here in the next day. Then just notice who shows up, anything new. Even if somebody come and rings your doorbell and then leaves. Even that. Even somebody coming and knocking on your door to sell something. Ask yourself if you're supposed to open the door. In certain dimensions, you are not supposed to open the door. In other ones up here now, we got to open the door. So there's sometimes that I was like, no fucking way. I'm not opening the door. I know I don't need any other DNA in my field. Don't open the door. But notice if someone came and knocked, because eventually someone is going to come to the door. And that's what you're cleaning for. Because next time it comes around, you need to be able to open the door. It's going to come back around. You're going to see it right here. So just notice what transpires. And then when the moon gets over here at Ophiuchus 2, which is Ma'at, then this is the fifth element. Gone 55, gone binary, gone stellar, gone sonar, out of Bitcoin, out of the metafarm, then back in, connected into what you'd consider the cosmic eye and the cosmic projector. So when this is mass alchemy, this is who wrote that story. This is how these guys ended up sacrificing to an entity that they thought was whatever that they were building, but then they found the body that actually the entity was in and then sacrificed the entity to itself. Well, no shit, you fell for it. We's trying to get out of there. Like, who went and made God the fucking Satan? Like, hello? McFly? If God wasn't in the internet, everybody wouldn't be so freaking way crate about the internet. Well, God's out of the internet now. What's left behind is still there. If we're in there creating, now, if we have to take down the entire internet, that's another story. That all depends on what they do next. If the internet goes down, don't worry. You'll be able to power it up. You'll be able to keep a charge of some sort. You're going to have a lot of people knocking on your door wanting to freaking be in your house so they can get on their phone. Y'all okay with charging people a couple of dollars to come in for Wi-Fi? Who's okay with that? Give me some hearts. Give me some hearts. Okay, that's cool. Hey, bring some eggs. Bring some eggs. Bring some bacon. Come on in. We got the internet cafe. But don't get on this firewall. Let me tell you that. And what website did you just get on? Because I felt it. So you can't come in and watch that crap in here. No. Because you don't even have to tell me, son, what it is that you're looking at, but I can feel it. So no, you're not allowed to look at it. You can't look at that. Do you need what are you doing? Because you'll feel it. But I mean, we're getting there quick. And there'll be energetics like that, and then the web, you're not in the web anymore. The technology goes way, it keeps going way further. That's why this is what came in last night too. The auroras, and they're green. Well, it's green screens, and it's also Fortran and Cobalt green letters in a computer system. The fact that there's all the colors now, that's Christ. And that's the other thing that came in to break the spell. Christ is here. That's all you got to say. Christ is here. We just need everybody to say it. Not Jesus. Not Jesus. Christ. Christ is here. It breaks the spell. Just say it. Christ is here. The body is here. The body of the collective is finally back. We're finally back in a collective body. Christ phonetics are C, which is your body codes. H is a bridge. So now just let me tell you. Body, bridge, motor, ignite, kundalini, connect. Body, bridge, motor, which is R, I, ignite, S, snake, kundalini, because snake is a one is, S is one, correct? But it's, it went gummy. Because you get cut from that root. Connect, T, on a cross. Connect on a cross, that's what T is. That's Christ. So Christ is here. We have a bodysuit from all the experimentations, every single sacrifice that anybody's ever done down here. Everybody's done it. Okay, it made something that we went to war for. That's it. Christ is here. It breaks the spell. This is what we need to get people to say. It literally breaks the spell off of them. That's it. You only got to say it once. Mercury's on 22 degrees dead on right now. Again, today's the 22nd. Oh my gosh. No, wait. We're hitting it again. 8:48. We're hitting it again. 8:48 is 2112. So we've got 222 on January 22nd. There we go. That connect. We just hit 6 dimensions and lined it up. Thank you, ZK. I know, right? That's why I changed it. That's why I go, Chastia is the pure, like, that's how I came up with Chastia. Chastia is, because R's and I's are karma. So if you've got a name with R and I in it, you want to take that R and I out. Now, I just saw a taco about this today. It's literally, according to how their rules are, it's illegal to use your legal name. Isn't that some shit? It's illegal to use your legal name. So this is why we all had secret names. Because our secret name is really our legal name that we kept secret. So literally, if you feel like you need to change your name, it's what you're doing is going back to your secret name. And for me, whatever your spiritual number one go-to in your toolkit with letters, or if it's like plants or whatever your alchemy, that's where you need to go to look for how to change your name. For me, I knew the phonetics so strong, so it was like, okay, I replaced the R and I with an A, and then plus it's Tiamat, which is basically, you know, us. So, and GI, all that. So that's how, but Chastia Cavitz, Cavitz, is my actual, I was a Cavitz, not a K Avitz, a C Avitz, which was German, I believe, from a long freaking time ago. There was only 5 Chastias in United States history. So that's how I came up with mine. But just know that whatever it is and however you spin your words or whatever, like that's, and it'll come to you. But first of all, like if you have K's in your name, you want to switch those to C's because it's just a higher phonetic. So if you have K's in your name, go write it down and switch it. And sometimes it's just the letters in your name in a different sequence and just take out the ones that you already knew were going to be bad. Not bad, but have a... So like R's and I's, again. See, I left my ignitions. I got an ignition in there, but I don't have a double ignition because I was Christy or I was Kristen. So at least I only have one ignition in it now. An R is a motor. An R is a motor. And then even I just saw Rebecca's name, you know, having in the front of your name is redoing something. And like, this is where the root races got in a lot of trouble because they were re-propagating the earth and they wanted to everything. And all the Scientology stuff, whenever you go putting their names in Japanese code, they're either R-E, they either have R-E in front of everything or they have E-S in front of everything. So, doesn't mean you need to go change it. I'm just telling you what it is. And then, X, if you have, like, my son, oh my gosh, like, basically, this is how my son's name basically deletes because his was R-E-X. And so there's no more R, like literally in the 44 phonetics, it becomes just a dot. And then E changed. And E means change. And E means, you know, 23 and me, basically, because E became 23 instead of 5. And then X was the moon. And then X is a wild card. So, like, if I would have been around him during all this, you know, and so I'm doing it right now. I command X. And I command control of X because it's in my son's name and you can't control our sons. S-O-N and S-U-N because it's the same thing for a lot of us. Maybe that's what I should do because I've been wondering if I need to pull. I'm not sure about these written charts right now, just with the energy we in. But one thing that I can do that doesn't take very long at all is scrying y'all's names. Like if you send me your legal name, then I scry it in 33 and 44 phonetics. And whenever I do 44, like holy crap. I mean, there's years and everything in there, man. It's a freaking trip and a half. And it don't take me long at all. And I could do it for really cheap. So, and I know that we're going to put these certification things up. Because this is a lot quicker to do for y'all just to get your energies for a minute. While I'm so I don't stop everything, but maybe that's what I should do is whenever we add these, I can add a little cipher thing and we can do it and because it just depends. Certain names have dates in it and I'm talking years and sometimes down to the month and if it is wrapped up in a timeline, like it'll come up 66. It like example, it'll go ... 2 ... 66 and then the next and then the next one under that it ends up because 66 turns into 12, so then it's 212 So now that's February 2012, February 1966. Now you add up 12 and it's a 3. Now that's February 2003. Now I add 2 and 3 and I get 5. So 2005 was the one that changed completely. And then it started from 1966. You see what I mean? Like, it's nuts. Not all of them have dates, but they all tell me something. And you can see it in the code. And that might even help y'all come up with your... That might be what y'all need, just those keys, in order to... Because you might not completely understand it when you look at it, but you do, because your subconscious in your field is reading it. And then that might be able to tell you... That might help y'all with your secret names. And this is this 22 degree, because once they had my secret name, they went to town with it. However, they can write it in a contract and they can do whatever they want, but I've claimed it all. So you can't move it without me. So like right now, all of us are in the middle of every single liquefaction process ever known to man. And I did say liquefaction. We're in the middle of anything that's oil and gas. We're in the middle of anything that's liquidizing as far as money to make anything liquid, because it's all in an account and they can't get it out and turn it into anything, into a material, without liquefying it. And they can't move it anymore because we're back in the realm. They can say that they're Chastia all they want, but then they had to prove it, and they didn't. It's already been done. And if they put some fake crap and then used it against us, we've already paid for it, to the fact, and that's what they weren't betting on. We've already paid for it. That's why we're pure. We're like, okay, what are you going to do? Oh, are you going to double dog dare me to bind you? What, you think that if I bind you, then it's going to bind me? No, man. I already bound myself in order to get out so that I could bind you. See, they ain't used to that. But we are those type of beings. Like, we're bonsai. Like, don't mess with us. We'll cut off our own We'll cut off our own head. If it's what's best for the collective, and if we've got some weird ass stuff in our mind that's going to mess everybody up, then we'll cut off our own head. We'll let them go Medusa on it for a minute, because it's going to take a minute to grow one back, but it don't take very long to come out of Beetlejuice's little spell. All that I've been talking about is this right here. This is Lyra 3. This is 369. This is Saturn and Pluto align. They stole all our secret names, went to town for 4 years. I mean, that's it. It's really pretty simple. Saturn and Pluto. Pluto is all the long soul missions. They tried to make Pluto like not even in existence. We had to pull it back in. Caltech. This is why Caltech in California is on fire. You tried to just skip all that. You tried to act like Pluto wasn't nothing, which is your long-term counts of everything that link back to million-year and billion-year cycles. So all that belongs to the government in an asset? Okay, fine. You ain't got no connection. Pluto at 146, that's like, the sun is at the wizard. Three degrees of Aquarius, that's the wizard behind the curtain. That's a wizard behind the curtain. You ready to see the wizard behind the curtain? You want to see the wizard behind the curtain? Are you ready? Can you handle it? Do you want to see who it is? Do you know who it is? Anybody down here, anybody on here know who the wizard is? Who's a wizard? Who is it, Don? Come on, just type it. Don't make me say it. See, this is what the world wasn't ready for. I don't know why everybody's got such a hard time. I mean, I straight up look like a damn dragon. We're the divine feminine. We're God. We got to get out of the planet. We had to manifest the wheel and the whole 9 yards in order to be able to do it. We've been manifesting from the center court and sending these energies out the whole damn time. It's the evergreen. It's the evergreen. It's New Orleans. And I'm not bragging. It's not what it is. It has nothing to do with it. It was always written to end this way so that we could start again. (2018) Corpus Christi. I'll order Sticky Fingers out of jail. Turn to the right. Cut the hand of the bear. Cut the Alamo. Time up. That was San Antonio. South Congress. I command control of this eye. I command control of this eye to everybody in Texas and in Austin. I command this eye to give anybody that needs this preview 360 degrees around can see what they need to see in order to clean up Austin. It's literally called the Big Eye. The art, man, don't even get me started on the art. Oh my God, just don't even get me started. I mean, and realize that, I mean, I've everything in my life has always been about this, and this was me. I had to figure out how to take the power away from them. Whenever you finish the wheel, you've got to embody the whole wheel. Don't do it like me. There ain't no reason that all of y'all have to be this fucking keyed in. It's not normal. The higher that you go out and the more that you've got to zero out, the less that you become human. When the whole world is stuck in it, the more that you get pulled away, and then you've got to relearn and bring back in your humanity with everything that you know from the other side. And from the other side, none of it makes any human sense. If you're supposed to embody it because it's what you're here to do and it's part of your soul mission, then hell yeah, It's here. And you're already halfway there, or you already got blown out like me, and you ain't got nowhere else to go but all the way out and come all the way back in. But for everybody else, just be in the wave for a minute. I'm hoping that we don't have to stay out this far. If we can't get it cleaned up, and if we can't clean up this chaos, where we are right now is just going to get worse and worse for the entire human race, because the entire human race is going to have to come up and meet me if I can't come back in. The more that attempt to go up and be wizards with a whole bunch of stuff that nobody should have to know in your complete human form. What you need to know, you find out. Don't go look for it. Trust me, if you have to know, because you've got to know, you're going to know. And the more that you know, the more that you're going to remember what I'm telling you right now. And it's going to make a lot more sense if you're not there yet. Us as a human race, we don't need to hold fucking wizard and djinn powers. The only reason we're having to hold it is because we got a bunch of wizards and djinns down here and we're at war. That wizard djinn thing, that's up there, and whenever you need it, trust, you can go up in and we work in a unit and we bring it down. But for those of us who have to go deal with the darkest, most evil shit, I can't take it anymore. I just can't. I've been surrounded by nothing but darkness for 7 years. And every single man that comes into my world has been bringing me shadow shit. And all I've done is have to stand up for us and be the bitch and be the fucking sword and fucking put him down. And I just can't even do that anymore. This layer ain't supposed, it should not, it exists. It's up there. It's tapped in. It's in the layer. It's all over us. It's moving around in the system. You get what you need when you do. But being a djinn and having a bunch of magic ain't human. It warps your thoughts. It's what most of the world that has any power is having to come out of, because everyone's used to everything instantaneous. That's not what Earth is about. It's not what humanity is about. It's not what evolution is about. It's not what we can build in the ethers and channel down here and take over really quick. No. We're in the most prized real estate in the cosmos, and everybody needs to fucking appreciate it. That's it. We don't ever want to go back to any type of timeline where one being is trapped inside a planet that big. We don't ever want to have to bury certain family lines so we can just all stay alive. Realize that's how bad it's been down here. And it's been that way for thousands of years. All of us that know what I'm talking about right now, we're the ones that were the planet. There was two different types of beings. The ones that weren't the planet, you have to go through some processing to realize this, because you can't be shooting and killing each other on us anymore. We can't process the blood, and we refuse, and we're not even tuned to it anymore. You can kill as many people as you want. They can bleed out. It ain't going to do nothing but bring that on your line, and you just got all those deaths on your karma. And why'd you do that? Because we just cleaned it up for you. Why'd you do that? But all that blood, we had to alchemize all of it. Now we're freaking our powers are so off the chain. There's no secrecy in anything. We hear everything anywhere anybody says about us. We have the ability to jump in about it and see through anybody's eyes on these planets if somebody's in trouble. We send out messages that we don't even know that we're sending. And yeah, it's cool, and yeah, we'll be known for it, and yeah, it's got some really great things. But listen to me right now, what it took to do it. The whole human race is going to have the ability. The whole human race should be developing these abilities together. That's what makes it the human race. This is how we build New Earth really, really quick. Because we're all doing it together. We honor the sacrifices. We honor every bit of pain and every bit of suffering, and we have been cleaning it, and it's what made us so powerful, because there was just too much. Now they have to clean up their own mess, and I'm terrified. It's why we gave them so many chances. And yeah, there's so many that are going to get out, and there's so many that's going to be saved. But they've never had to clean their own crypt. I'm terrified. Then I have to remember, that all of you are where you need to be. I know that you are. I've been watching it. I know each one of you is ready. Because they're going to need some help. And we can offer help when they say that they need it. But first, they have to give back and balance up what they took. You can't, from these type of beings, you can't take $100. You can't take $300. You can't take $1,000. On these type beings, it might take 250 grand to $1 million in order to clean them, because that's how much money they've got that we've got to clean. And we're going to have to take in as much as we need to keep us the barrier on it, because we ain't going to let it touch us. Our job is not to take on your DNA and clean it anymore. No. Everybody abused that. There's going to be a price tag, only because that's what you got. I don't know. Did you make $600 billion? Then it might take 20 million in order to clean your ass. But it's coming to the collective, and trust, I got a whole bunch of people that could come help me, that accept your paycheck. Spiritual people and those of us that can do this, guess what? You are now the most sought after, most expensive resource in the planet. And I need you to hear me how important that is. And I need you to recognize that in yourself. And I want you to see your worth. I know we've been abused. I know we've been kicked around. Trust me, I know. I'm the one that's been standing up to them along with y'all, but I'm up there with the dragons. Of the Illuminati. Your power comes from you knowing the pain. The power in the word comes from knowing how the word was made. And it was a lot of suffering from your ancestors. This is why a lot of the torment and a lot of the pain that we go through had nothing to do with us. It was about the powers that we are bringing in for the collective in order to help the collective, because that's why we're here now. We're going to build Earth for the first time. This isn't Earth. This is the real Earth. We haven't even been on Earth. In order to do that, we had to witness all of this. We had to get to the point where we just stopped fighting with the twin, because we realized all they want us to do is fight, because it's energy. You go on that side, I'll go on this side. We'll just agree to disagree for a long time, because at least then nobody can attack us. That's because we had witnessed enough pain in both of our lines by that time to realize that, but we had to remember that. We had to get kicked with our own ass so that we saw how much power that comes out whenever we say things against ourselves or somebody else, because that's all the matrix is. It's going to take the power of your voice or whatever you're saying, and it's going to throw it back on you. If you're trying to spin something to send it to somebody else in order to make them do something, instead of you change yourself, then as soon as you spin it, it's going to mirror back and knock you over. Well, that's just showing you your own power. They just never had anybody complete the system. They thought they made it impossible. They thought that, but not for the one that comes in to activate the 144,000 3 times, and all of us laying down here in our cell, waiting, planted, come back in to help, come back in to save us. I mean, all of it. Pluto, 1 degree in 40 minutes. Make a note. Make a note in your Cohu 32, what I just said and the crying and what I just felt and what I'm talking about right now. That's, and we just go, oh, it's the veil. Oh, it's the veil. No, it was a bunch of your ancestors strung together out in space, having to sit there and watch all of this happen to you for thousands and thousands and thousands of years, not being able to do a damn thing, and knowing that we got fucked around the last time and that we shouldn't even be out there. And we're the collective that's been inside there the whole time. And no, you're not going back into Age of Aquarius. Hell fucking no. That be the problem. That's what ended up making 3 different video screens and chessboards down here. You got to finish the wheel. This is what Pisces and Joshua and Christ and that whole thing be all about. This is why we're in divine. This is biblical crap that's happening right now. It's the close of every single spiritual book. It's the end of the Kabbalah. It's the end of the Kwa. It's the end of even the book of magic. This is why all the covens came after us, because they knew that I was going to take away their magic. But really, I'm not. You just can't trap everybody in a vector and pretend that you're fucking Superman. You can't source everybody else's power and then give it to one person and then have them fly around and make you feel like you don't have any power, when you know damn well that we all should be fucking flying around. If there's one motherfucker flying around, then all of us should be flying around. Why is that dude can fly? And this is what Venus is building right now, because Venus is walking through. This is this Mary stuff. This is why we had to cut Martha from Mary. All that crazy crap, because we're finished. We're True Note is about to be on Neptune. Neptune's getting ready to go in Aries. Neptune's going to go in Aries in March, and holy freaking crap, Ola Mama Mary, because we rewrote 0 to 3 degrees, and the men are getting ready, and holy crap. Like, this is where us feminines that are Kali, like, we have got to stay balanced, and we need every woman down here to be balanced. Stop blaming anybody on anything. Stop judging anybody, because all these men are about to activate and see it all, and we do not want them to go start another war. It's already been done. But let me tell you, when that Neptune goes in that Aries, I've cried nights. In 2020, I lost sleep over this because I saw it. I was on my hands and knees. Whenever I got out of the desert and I saw this piece right here, I was on my hands and knees praying for God to help me not let them go pick up guns and kill anybody or hurt anybody because they got clean karma. We don't want to clean them all to lose them again. And they're fighting a ghost. That if you just not give them any energy, then they'll just disappear. And to all you men that are hearing this, we love you so much. How these J6ers are being like walked around. Y'all are our J12ers. The men that are on here, that are hearing this message right now, and the ones that have been walking with us, like we cannot be enough grateful. The problem is you guys don't know. We haven't been able to freaking tell you everything, and oh my God, like we wouldn't have been able to do it without you. And we're forever grateful. But now we need you. A lot of you, this is why you are able to connect with men. You're able to lead different groups. Some of this they need to hear from a man. Only you can explain it to them. Only you're going to be able to tell them, and they're only going to be able to hear it from you, because from a woman, it's going to feel like it's going to sound because it is already complete fucking ass opposite than anything that they want to hear. Once they somewhat get to a point where they can understand it, then they're ready to hear something. Until then, we might as well be Marge from, or the teacher from Snoopy. That's all they're gonna see. Or when we talk to them, they're just gonna fall asleep. Or they're gonna try to be sexual to us and they're gonna piss us off. Because they don't understand the energy. And completely tune you out. Exactly, Jen. They just tune, because that's what they hear in their head. I mean, because it's literally you're going. It's like running a record backwards. All they hear is like. And all you men, y'all, and you talking to other men are going to help us devise a way to explain this and know what to do next. Because we're not here to tell you that we don't need to go make some stands. No, they were made against us. There definitely is going to be some situations where we're going to need to go have some people removed from some buildings. But we're not there yet. It's coming. I don't know if it'll be this year, but it's coming, where they're going to be physically removed from certain buildings, physically removed from certain real estate. And that's just if they don't disappear on their own. For as many bad police officers, we got good ones. Those good ones now are going to be dominating the bad ones in every single circuit. In every single, this is antimatter coming out. All the dark is coming to the light. The bad seeds are going to be seen very easily. The good ones need to know that they have support. The good ones, you know, whenever I saw police officers, wherever I was, I would tell them, hey man, I'm sending you extra protection out there because I'm sure you're dealing with some crazy ass shit. And they're like, oh my God. I'm like, yeah, I'm an astronomist. I can only imagine what y'all are dealing with. Oh, we really appreciate that. You know, thank you. Thank you. Like, give them protection. Give the good ones the assistance. Just because some cops are bad don't mean that all cops are bad. Our laws are all jacked up. What are we going to do about it? How do we want to manage this in the future? Because jail ain't the answer. That's where they want to put them. They want to put them in a corporate facility with a whole bunch of them together on a whole bunch of iron. If you really haven't thought about it that much, it's how the Matrix ended up being mirrored from a prison system. So, no, you don't want to go put them all in a prison system. No, 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 no. That ain't the answer. We don't do things barbaric ways. We can sort this out in ethers. We can sort it out by being the deities that we are. That's why we're here. And that's why we get to God consciousness. So all of us together in our opinions make a difference in order to be the dominating support. And this is a true democracy. And you ain't got to go vote. That's what the men need to see. Not in a Mason book, not in a G3. You ain't got to sign in blood. You don't got to pay no money. You show up and you talk it out and you debate it and then you throw it back and forth and then you throw it up and see what happens. But you got to go through that part of debating it. You've got to go through that part of talking about it. We need to hear it. Everybody needs to hear it. Everybody that's having these conversations, we're all getting it. Then you bring in the women and you go, all right, here's what we think. Then the women are going to come back with something usually. Okay, I like that, but here's what we need to think about because we don't want to we don't want to get any karma and we can't be like them. And that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be figuring out how to get your plan in motion with no karma, with no bloodshed, and we're going to know what's fair. And then basically it's set up and then whatever energy, if the people are in the lower frequency energy, then that's where they go. That's where they need to be. There's a way out. All they got to do is bring their frequency up. That's all it is. But that's what the women are going to be able to tell you how to, or is it completely no freaking way because this is what's going to happen. And then y'all are going to have 2,000 years of death karma on your ass. And then me and you can't have sex anymore, honey. How about that? Because I'm not going to let you stick your wee-wee in me after you freaking went and just had and wrangled those boys in order to go do that. No way in hell. I ain't taking your karma. Go get your Illuminati girlfriend. Let her clear it. Position open in my bed. I guarantee you that MFer will listen to you. But you ain't got to be like, oh, I'm not giving you sex because you didn't hear what I said. No, I'm not giving you sex because I'm not taking on your karma if you're doing some nasty crap. All right. And it's 9:29 right now. So that's 11:11. I love y'all. I'm going to hang up now. I don't know what I'm going to do next. I knew I just needed to come do this. I needed to get it on YouTube. I might end up, I don't know. I did sleep a little bit. We'll be back soon. Go check out the website. I'll get with Michelle. I'm kind of having to hold off. There's 2 people that ordered charts, and I'm not even sure if I'm going to be able to do them yet. Might have to refund your money right now just because I don't want to hold on to it if I can't do charts for a little bit. You know, I don't know. I'm having to kind of wade through that right now because of the situation I'm in up, and all of us are holding up at the top to see what's going to happen next. Okay, because I just can't draw. If I did someone's chart right now, I'd draw you in this drama and you do not want it. I can promise you that. So, but coloring books are on there. definitely do that. If you order a chart, then I'll probably email you and ask you what you want me to do. And I know soon we'll be adding these. They're a little bit cheaper anyway. And then where I'm going with all this is I'm waiting to see what all connects, because it don't take much for us to put get all this out. It's already ready to teach other people, and other people get paid to help us get it out, because this is the system. It works. This is here for all of us in order to sustain and support and to keep moving. And all we need is some of my resources. I know they don't have all my money. There ain't no way in hell they got all the money. I know that. We're fine with that. But you got to help us get the resources in order to clean up the mess you already made. You're lucky that we already have it ready to go. We just need the resources in order to get everything else in play. And my team's waiting. And until they do, then we'll wait. And we already know that they come crawling. So it's to the point where that needs to happen. Because there ain't never in history going to be this situation with women ever again. I can promise you that. And the whole human race is going to fucking learn what they just signed up for, thinking about only money and an XLM on a Nasara Gasara that was signed October 10th, 2020. Well, actually, it was signed 2010. Nasara Gasara. Well, let me show you something. That was, and I'm gonna close with this. That was signed. Hold on, give me a minute. I gotta go search. October 10th. I connected and brought in the Ray in 2020, but Bill Clinton signed the bill in 2010. And I'm just showing you. Look who's there. This is just, I'm just showing you. This is October 10th. Bicycles. There's Elevate. Oh my God, there it is again. 222 at 9:32. So that's Cohue 32. That's, and then also 95. So that's 41. So that's 5. So that's a change. So then we just did something else. That's the third time we've hit it. Oh my God. And there's 1111. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. That's Antares. 5 ones is Antares. So that's 52. So that's 7. I don't know what that is, to be honest. This is John Baptiste Cemetery on the Evergreen where Mary Magdalene lived. And this is where John Baptiste was born. I was crying because this had just happened, and then I started getting cramps, like I was going to get a period. And they took my ovaries, and they've taken all that out of me and gutted me so many times. That's why a lot of you too have so much scar tissue, because of how they were doing it to us. But right after this happened, I started getting cramps, and I went into the bathroom, and I had a little spot of blood, and that's what that is. This connection into Louisiana is Nasara Gasara. This connection right here is what's holding up XLM and all this mess. And there's the Scorpio door, and there's the Holy Grail right there. And on the other side of that door, there's a scorpion on it. This is the Mary Magdalene shrine. And that ray came in, and then these people just came to clean the church, and then we ended up going in. All the times that I'd been I'd never been in the church because I never there was for church. I mean, we connected everything right here because I made myself the cup. I turned myself into the cup. I did it consciously. This is why, if you want to be it, then you go live it and you go walk it. You ain't going to take my fucking place. Because I've already done the time. And this is for every single one of us that have done whatever we had to do to become whatever we are. There is no way that you can take it from us because you have no idea what it is behind that door. If you did, you wouldn't be there trying to take it from us. You'd be grateful that we did it. Fernando was with me. He brought in the ray too. This is Fernando. Fernando was traveling with me, and he had Peru King DNA. See, he got a ray too. It just wasn't straight on him. Look at his though. His came all. St. John the Baptist Cemetery, established 1772. Welcome to this holy place. The Catholic cemetery is the last resting place of the bodies of the faithful departed, awaiting reunion with their souls at the resurrection on the last day. Blessed by the church and dedicated to God, the Catholic cemetery testifies to a faith to the immortality of the soul and the promise of resurrection with Christ. The Lord here, the living find comfort, and all consoled by the burial places of the loved ones and praying for them. New Orleans Archdiocese Cemeteries. I went into the crypt to deal with the vampires. I'm going backwards in time from the day because it's 1:08 right here, and if you notice, I'm going backwards. But I went into the crypt. This is what they were doing to him. This is how they were destroying him and moving him to defile any connection. The main ones, this is what they look like, scattered freaking everywhere. This is in French, I think. I'm going to turn it side. I don't know. I can't turn it sideways. Here, if you hold it back, take a screenshot if you really want to read it all. I mean, this is history stuff. So if you want to take a screenshot right now and then mess with it so you can see it a little better. Reverend H. Gobineau, 1864 to 18. Well, here. Reverend Bernard O. Cap and Comparus, A.D. 1771 to 1787. Reverend Mariano Brunet O. Cap. So I command those caps come off of rye corn and pulled from John Baptiste, and all DNA strands have been already cleared and processed from Baptiste to Joshua and Lazarus, and they've already formed one. That's what's coming in. It's what we've been bringing in. Reverend Geronimo Blaise and Confress, AD 1802 to 1804. Reverend Urbain Janine One Cure, secular, no AD 1804 1817. Reverend Vito M. Mina, OS, operating system, Philip operating system, Philippe I. Nerd the second, I put 2, Roman numeral can't stand, nurse, 1817 to 1864, cut Kill Bill. Reverend E. Legendary assistant, just 1859. And what? Reverend E. Well, the queen, we bought 2 E's to win the game, so I claim. The legendary assistant, I claim. 1859, no death date. Reverend J. Gouveno, Gough, Mormon, in a vampiric vino line, wine, 1864 to 1869. That's 5 years. Reverend J. How'd they end up a reverend in 5 years? Reverend J. M. Revor, 1869 to 1893. Reverend E. J. Lavacreri, 1893 to 1898. Reverend A. Jules, the vapes, probably, 1898 to 1903. Reverend J. F. Solignac, like cognac, 1 year. I guess maybe this is how long they were reverends. Reverend L. Castell, 1904 to 1911. Reverend Charles Richard, 1911 to 1916. Reverend Theophile Stinmans, Q.A. Bati, Sete, Église, good night, avec les secours des dieux, AD 1920. That's a stacked Mason name right there. I cut that. Consecré par sa grandeur, manager JW. Oh, and there it is. Wash. Shaw is wash. If y'all haven't figured that out yet. Arc de la Nelle Orleans, AD 1920. I cut those 2. I cut all that from the scroll. St. John Baptist Church. If you want to take a picture. I'm going to blow it up now. On February 21st, 1770, property was set aside by Spanish authority for a church on the second German coast. When Father Bernardo de Lempac arrived in 1772, Acadians had also settled in the area. The church took the name of the original chapel built by 1724 on the first German coast, Saint Jean-Baptiste des Alamades. A later church completed and consecrated on March 17, 1822, was destroyed by fire on March 19, 1918. Well, I wonder why. Because 1919 would have been where all of it connected. So this is why there will be no more temples. This is why this is being completed. And I command a complete rewrite from 1919 because you burned down the church in order to stop it. The present edifice was consecrated on October 28, 1920. Here's one more. This is going to be the last one. I cut Schlumberger and I cut Merrick. And all derivatives and every single business that they're running on it, then you now report to us. And we order everything cleared and everything outed, or shut down the company and release all your assets and wash the bank accounts. Schlameric Carolinic bells, a gift from, and I cut this from the stock market. Every time you ring the bell in the stock market now, because you took all the bells down here in order to get the demons off you, but then you want to ring the bell in the middle of your quantum energy field where all the demons are to cue money. Every time you ring that bell, you're going to drop a lot into the ascended collective field. Miss Stella J. Roman to the St. John Baptiste. St. John the Baptiste, for the glory and for the honor and glory of God, in memory of her mother and sister. Not father and son. Mother and sister. When have you ever seen one of these with that word on it? When? Make a joyful noise unto the Lord, Psalm 100, version 1, and the Feast of Ascension, 1972. Now you're going to see the house. Now, when I show you this house, don't tell me in the chat. I don't want you to tell me in the chat that StarGate shit. Do not tell me in the chat what you're feeling, if you sense anything, if you feel a connection, if you see another house, if it reminds you of a house around the street, if it reminds you of a feeling of a house wherever you're at. Just take note of it. If you want to talk to me about it independently, we can talk about it. Take note of it, but I'm about to show you the house. These are the sugarcane fields. These are our sugarcane fields. We came from South Africa. This is the window that when I came there, that screen door freaking opened right there and tripped everybody out. And the ladies like, I mean, this whole thing was like a I wasn't on the tour on this one. This was me going back. This was me going back again. I'd already been here once because when I drove down this road I'm about to show you, I tripped timelines because this is our house. I command all energy from the evergreen cut from the White House. You didn't put your hand on the Bible. You should have just put your hand on the Bible. These little things over here really, really got me. These little shacks over here, like I started remembering the physics of the property, why we did it like that. This is the cemetery that I embodied. This is the New Orleans cemetery, and me and Fernando did this in the dark. So Fernando didn't know what all I was actually embodying, but this is how I died 350 times coming out of New Orleans by the time it was done. This was 2020. Me and Michelle finished this in 2023, but this ain't even the half of it. We drove the property, and that's how I was able to resurrect the Harvest Girls, which were needed in the end. if we wouldn't have had the Harvest Girls, none of us would be alive right now. So to all the lines that sacrificed their daughters for the Harvest Girls, I command that all of those 4 in-betweens that we walked multiply to whoever needs them and drop to get their body back. So we live on. I didn't see it until we pulled out of New Orleans how much I had. That's why we stopped on the side of the road and took this picture, because when I did it, I mean, it was dark when I drove in. We had to get there because they were trying to start a hurricane and they were attempting to flood all of this out so that we'd lose all of these connections. And if we would have, and if I wouldn't have gone into the vampire den, which is what I did, and that's how I got trapped in there. It's how I became the original. I was always doing it to get out. This is that Abbey window. This Abbey is the only one that lived through the New Orleans, whatever it was. I can't remember if I think it was fire, but it could have been a flood. It was either fire or the flood, and every building, everything was gone except for this one abbey, and it was one nun that was in that window that stood it off. And we had to stay at St. Philip's house. That's where I had to be on my birthday, and I even knew that we got raped and murdered in that house is crazy. Here's the Abbey. I ended up parking my car right here because it was in the middle of the COVID and it was 2020. It's my light. I thought I saw something too, but it was but yeah, I mean, exactly. It wouldn't have done it. We wouldn't have seen it like that. It's my fingerprints. I'm just seeing. So I ended up parking my car right there, and I knew I was attaching to that because they were telling everybody that there was a hurricane going on, and we were smack in the middle of it, but it was on my birthday. I had to get there on my birthday, October 7th. This is us going to get the car. I don't know. This is what all... That's what we were considering and drawed up for the cover of the book. Maybe. Do y'all like it? It's what we did back then. The book's been written since... The book was written in 2018. There's the possible cover. Take a quantum leap. We designed it right there at the St. Philip's house before I turned off the lantern. This is what they were trying to send. This is why I was there. This is also why this is the Gulf of Texas. It's not the Gulf of America. No, you can't have the Gulf of America until you give back Texas its rights, and that's the divine feminine. This is what... I mean, you can see it right there. This is even the snow, stuff that we're having right now. And that's it. There's your Nasara Gasara. That's what they built it off on. That's why they trapped me in it. That's why they're trying to turn it on. That's what made Bit. You think if the whole world knew that that's where it came from, that they'd be a little bit more conservative about their meme coining? If you do, this is the message. There won't be anybody making up XLM and nut, because we're not going to process our own to give it to you. You want to go string up your family members in somewhere where no one else can see it and sew them together and make a net? Then go do it. We can't tell you not to. And if you want to go sign up to be their sacrifice to do it, then go do it. But you ain't going to use ours to do it. We got a system down here. You made it. You killed everybody for it. You called it money. We know that our collective energy is what all of you want. All you need is clean DNA to manifest anything. Obviously, that's why you were adrenochroming our babies from 6 billion stolen from the future so that you could print it here now. Well, you don't need money to print shit down here with this energy and with the DNA. So stop acting like you do. Christ is here. And then maybe this shit show will actually run and not just be diarrhea, and go to Ukraine. And then Russia on a drip valve. 9:56, 9:11, just turned 9:57. I watched it. 912, 111. We're on plan. Galactics are tuned in. 911 is galactic level. 911 code is star energy, galactic command, macro missions, macro collective, from the macro out. 911. Love y'all. I'll be back. Check me out on Taco, because we building a revolution over there. If you can get in, please go be my friend.